going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. How many of you all remember the power grid failure in Texas that happened in 2021? A lot of you, I'm sure, watching this video right now actually lived through that in Texas when it was happening. It was pretty devastating. According to Wikipedia, in February 2021, the state of Texas suffered a major power crisis, which came about during 3 severe winter storms sweeping across the United States. The storms triggered the worst energy infrastructure failure in Texas state history, leading to shortages of water, food, and heat. More than 4.5 million homes and businesses were left without power, some for several days. At least 246 people were killed directly or indirectly, with some estimates as high as 702 people killed as a result of the crisis. And that's just a power grid failure for a few days. Up to 702 people died, a lot of misery, a lot of torment, and a lot of people obviously wasn't prepared because they wasn't used to that type of weather. However, it does happen. A type of preparedness is a must. Sadly, I would say that the majority of people in Texas, and everywhere else for that matter, but the people who lived through that in Texas already in 2021, I would wager that the vast majority, probably 98% or more, aren't prepared. Haven't done anything whatsoever to be prepared in case it happens again. And guys, according to an article that was published in Zero Hedge, it's not only likely to happen again, but it's likely to happen in other locations also, because we have a failing power grid structure. The U.S. heating season has officially begun, and new warnings show that a quarter of all Americans could experience energy emergencies this winter if temperatures fall below average due to tight fossil fuel supplies. Power grids from the Great Lakes to Louisiana, New England, Carolinas, and all of Texas are at most risk for power supply shortages during high demand periods, according to Bloomberg. Citing a new report from the North American Electric Reliability Corporation, a regulatory body that manages grid stability. The North American Electric Reliability Corporation said a cold snap for an extended period could spark grid strain due to soaring power demand from households and businesses. This would cause supplies of natural gas, coal, and backup diesel generators to draw down more quickly and possibly experience shortages. For instance, the demand for diesel is rising, but East Coast supplies are at record lows for this time of the year. Shortage of fuel used to power the economy from heating to trucking has about 25 days left of supplies and storage. Any supply disruption could leave power generation plants with supply gaps this winter. Jim Matheson, Chief Executive Officer of the National Rural Electric Corporation Association, told Bloomberg that electricity demand is set to outpace availability supply during peak winter conditions. Consumers face an inconceivable but real threat of rolling blackouts. Rapid decarbonization of the electricity sector is one of the main reasons America's power grid is less reliable than ever before. Solar and wind are inconsistent, and that's what they want to put us on completely, is solar and wind power, and there's no way that it's going to be able to supply all the energy needs that we need here in the United States, and they want it for the entire world. So guys, it's likely that you're going to have power blackouts this winter, rolling blackouts, and what will you do if you have those, and they're more likely to happen when it's really, really cold, because people are going to be using the electric heat to try to heat those homes up to a comfortable temperature. So what are you going to do if you're not prepared? Are you prepared for this? What will you do if it's 10 below zero or less and snow on the ground and your electricity goes off and you have no way to heat? Have you thought of backup plans? Have you thought of how you're going to stay warm? How are you going to keep from dying from hypothermia, frostbite? I mean, people don't think ahead anymore. Even something like this that's happened many, many times before, people still won't prepare. People still like don't want to listen. They don't want to do anything because they want to put it off and say it's not going to happen. If it does, I'll deal with it then. The trouble is, when it happens, it's much more difficult to deal with it then than if you deal with it beforehand and get prepared for it. And that's what preppers do. We see the possibility of danger and we prepare for that danger ahead of time. That way we don't have to try to do that when it's actually happening, when it's most difficult to actually prepare because it's going on right then. So get ready now, guys. I've done a couple of videos about this. I'll link in the description box below. I've done a detailed article on my website, creekmore.com. I'll link to in the description box below. But guys, it's extremely important to be prepared for these potential power blackouts, especially those that happen in winter. As we saw what happened in Texas, it's going to happen again. It's not an if, it's not a possibility, it's a guarantee, and it's a when it's going to happen. So get prepared for that now. Have backup heating sources. Have fuel sources to keep those backup heating sources running. Have good warm clothing, coats, things like that to keep you warm. Sleeping bags. Everything you can do to stockpile now that will help you when the power goes out and those temperatures are dropped down below zero. Get that now. Get that put in place because it's coming, guys. The cold weather here this morning when I woke up, it was 22 degrees, which is cold for this location. But it does get down to -0 several times during the winter time here. And people turn that heat up and we're likely to have those rolling blackouts. Luckily, if it goes out here, I have backup heating sources. I have natural gas. I have a wood stove. I also have electric heat in this house. So I have 3 different heating sources that's connected to this home. I have electric heat, like I said. I have a wood stove, and I have plenty of wood. I have natural gas. So I'm pretty much good to go, guys. But if you can't do anything more than get, say, a Mr. Buddy heater, get that, put that back, and get some canisters put back to keep that burning. You can get the smaller 20-pound propane canisters and get the hose to connect those to the heater, and that's the best way to go, actually. But also remember to have smoke detectors and have carbon monoxide detectors in your home if you use something like that. But just something like that with some several 20-pound tanks of propane put back will last you a week or so and hopefully see you through a power grid. You can do that for maybe $400. $400 may seem like a lot, and it is right now the way things are tight. However, that $400 money well spent, and you'll be glad you did when that power goes out and you're sitting there freezing your rear end off, hoping that the power comes back on and your toes get cold and turn black and they fall off, or you fall over dead from hypothermia, essentially freezing to death. So get prepared. Look at what you have now, what you can do to heat your home when that power goes out, because the likelihood of that happening this winter is extremely high. So if the video was helpful, give it a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching. The Creekmore out here. I'll see you guys next video, hopefully.